After he served the food, he said, "Get me the check." That just sounds rude. I don't know about you, but I want to live a soft life. I want to do things I love, do things I'm passionate about, spend my money on me, and excel at what I'm passionate about. How is that related to this video? Because the partner that you choose is going to play a big part in determining if you are able to achieve your dreams. If you are with someone who is toxic, you're going to spend all your energy trying to survive, trying to make it through the next day, trying to keep your mental health sane, trying to physically keep yourself safe. You have no time to go after what you're passionate about. You have no time to go after your dreams. So today I'm going to be talking about green flags that you should be looking for in your partner. In my previous video, I talked about some dating tips I wish I knew that I feel like it's going to help a lot of teenagers and people in their early 20s, even people that are older. It's a general tip, it helps everybody. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out somewhere here. So now let's get into today's video. So the very first thing is basic, everybody knows this, but let me reiterate it for people at the back, is that you should be with someone that has the fear of God and someone that is religious. Now, someone having the fear of God is not the same thing as someone having the fear of a man of God. Someone that has a relationship by themselves with God, that prays to God, that talks to God, that applies teachings of the religion in their daily life. I feel like this is very important. This is not just someone just saying, "I'm religious," or someone doing high service. There are some people that overdo it, so you need to actually know the difference. And there are some people that say they are doing that or they are in the religion, but their actions don't match up. You need to discern that and know the person that is truly, truly into the religion, not just by mouth or not just by birth. Because a lot of people are born into religion, but that doesn't mean they've accepted it as their own. If you have someone who is truly religious and has the fear of God, things might not work out between you. That doesn't mean that if you are dating someone that is religious, things will always work out. No, but the relationship will not be so bad. It will not be toxic. It's not going to be someone that is going to emotionally drain you or physically abuse you, because the person has the fear of God, and in any actions they are taking, they are trying to gauge, is this a good action or is this a bad action? So if you are with someone that's always thinking like, if I do this, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? That's a good trait. Than someone that doesn't even care. They don't care about rules. They just do anything that they want. I feel like that's very important in whoever wants to date, especially if you yourself you're a religious person. You need someone that will match your energy or that is higher than you, not someone that is going to drag you down. So I feel like that's really important. The next one might be a little controversial, but this is my personal opinion. You might agree, you might not agree. But for me, that's my personal opinion, which is to be with someone that likes you more than you like them. Bruh. I can't explain why, but for me that works better. Be with someone that likes you more as a lady than you like him. The dynamic of a guy liking you more just works better. I don't know how to explain, but as a lady, if you are with someone that you like more, it's a bit tricky. I can't even give a solid defense to my point, because I know it sounds about it to guys that hear this. It's going to probably make them feel bad, like so they don't deserve love. Of course, they deserve love. You should love the person. I'm not saying be with someone that you don't love. You have to love the person, or you should know that the person loves you more. Things aren't always going to be smooth, but women have the ability to stay firm or to stand by people. But men, if the person doesn't even like you that much before, it's easy for them to just like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much before, because it's really controversial, but that's what works for me, and honestly, that's what I recommend. But being with someone that doesn't like you that much, especially in this day and age, is just a recipe for disaster. In my opinion, no, in my opinion. The next step is to be with someone who is kind, who is respectful. This also plays with the religious part, because if you're a religious person, you're going to be kind, you're going to be respectful, not only to you, you need to watch how we treat others, people around you. When you go out, the way you treat people who he believes are below him, the way you treat workers, be kind to them. Does he say thank you? That's very important. Like there was a time I went on with someone, and it was a restaurant, and the after he served the food, he said, "Get me the check." That just sounds rude. You don't need to say that. You could have said it nicely. Even though I told him, I was like, you don't need to talk so rudely. You can say it quite, even though you don't mean to be rude, but it's just the tone. You don't need to sound like that. You can say it nice. Then, as a lady, if you have someone like that, you not have to be overcompensating. I have to not be saying, oh, thank you, so that the other person doesn't feel so bad. I will not be doing extra to make up for the behavior of that person. That's a no. The next point is you have to be with someone who is on a self improvement journey, who is working on himself, who is trying to improve yourself and grow in every aspect of your life. This is very important to me because ladies, you see a lot of people who say like, oh, I got a divorce, I left my partner because we are not on the same level. Like he could not relate to things I wanted to do. She could not relate to things I was interested in. I've grown, I've taken up more interest, I've taken up more hobbies. I see life in a different way, but the other person is not seeing life in a different way. So you have to be with someone who has the mindset of always being open, who is ready to evolve, who is taking steps to change. Because there are people that will tell you, I'm working on myself, I want to change this, but they're not taking any steps. So you have to be very intentional and ensure that this person is actually taking steps. Ask the person, so what do you want to do 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself? And look at it. The person said they want to achieve this in 5 years. What are they doing now? Are they taking a course? What are they doing to try and improve themselves to ensure they get there? It's not just by mouth, it's not just by saying, I want to do this, I want to do this. You have to ensure that they're actually taking steps. And this is why you need to be very watchful and be cautious, especially before you start dating the person. All this should be checked before you start dating this because once you start dating, you are going to find one excuse or the other to stay with the person. So it's very important to have to date someone that has a growth mindset and that is willing to try things, not just stuck in one view of life. Next tip is someone that respects your boundaries. First of all, you need to determine what your boundaries are. You need to know what your non-negotiables are. And the best time to establish this, in my opinion, is when you're single, because that's when your head is clear. That's when your standards are right. That's when you know what you want. Although if you're in a relationship now, that doesn't mean you should not. You should also, but be very cautious that whatever you're setting as your boundary is what you really want, not because you are trying to lower it because of the person you are dating right now, because you know that they cannot meet up. So you need to be careful of that. So date someone that respects your boundaries, and this is something that you this is a conversation you have before you get in a relationship. Nowadays, people don't even get in a relationship properly, but these are things that you discuss before you get in a relationship. These are my boundaries. Are you fine with it or not? Or that when we get into the relationship, you start asking me for this or you start pressuring me for this, even though I've told you I'm not interested in that. So you need to deal with someone that respects and says that him just saying that's fine. Okay, I understand. It's not enough. You need to see the action. Is he actually respecting your boundaries? Or is he trying to find ways to persuade you to accept things that you said you are not going to accept? So it's really important. That shows how much respect they have for you. But first of all, you need to build that respect for yourself before you expect someone else to have that respect for you. Are you guys good friends? For me, I always recommend being good friends. So a green flag will be someone who is your good friend, who you built a certain level of trust in as a friend. If you are someone that you were friends and you trust that person who as a friend, it's easy for you to have a healthy relationship with that person because you already trust the person and you already know the kind of person that person is. Not just meeting someone that is a stranger and just falling in love and getting into a relationship. New things will start to unfold that you're not prepared for. So take your time, build your friendship with the person. If there are things that you know that you cannot deal with, you already know, and you cut that person off from being your friend, talk less of even entering a relationship. A lot of people carry around emotional garbage that affects them in a very different area of their life. And most times it comes from relationship. Just getting in a relationship or situation with the wrong person can really damage your mental health and just damage you as a person. So you really need to be careful. First, so those are the tips I have for this video. My last video I talked about 5 or 6 dating tips that I wish I knew early on. If you're interested in that, check out this video here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. And in my next video, I'll be talking about red flags that you should not ignore when you're dating in your 20s. If you're interested in that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in that video. Bye.